We got freedom to gain, we feed them the game. Turn on new freedom exchange, we freeing your brain. They tryna shackle your mind, no half of us blind. Remember the past, but never go backwards in time. The ancestors lived through us, they help us build a model community. New Africa is soon to be. So tune in to Sister Marsha, Mujahideen, Imam Bilal, to get your cultural enlightenment now.
Welcome back to another edition of New Freedom Exchange, your cultural expression for social dignity and community empowerment. I'm your co-host Mujahideen, here with
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Marsha.
Wa alaikum assalam, Imam Bilal Hassan here. Welcome to another edition of New Freedom Exchange. We are here live and direct. It is Saturday, June the 18th. We hope everyone had a great week. We hope everyone's starting off a great weekend for Juneteenth and Father's Day weekend as well. Please drop in wa alaikum assalam. Please drop in your salams. Give peace to the space. Let us know where you're tuned in from as well. And most importantly as well, please share the live stream. Share the live stream to your friends and family. If you're watching on Facebook, share it on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, share the YouTube link out to your friends, text, email, etc., etc. We are live.
Text and email. That was smooth. I like that.
Text and email. Alhamdulillah, we are live, and we have a nice promo show today, another exclusive promo show. We have a couple more special guests this evening in continuation of a lot of activity that's going on, that's picking up steam for the summer. And one of two, we're going to get to that momentarily. Well, real quickly, just a quick check-in on how everyone is doing.
Tired. I'm tired. No, but other than that, I'm doing really well. I actually zoomed in here because I just came back from the water park. My daughter had a birthday earlier this week, and so that was part of her present. And so the American Dream Mall, which is close to here where I am, they have an indoor water park. I was reading, it was saying the largest selection of like indoor slides or something like that. I didn't even know that was the case, but it was nice. We had a good time, and I'm still tired, y'all. I've been running graduation, prom, birthdays. It's a lot. But alhamdulillah. How about you all?
Doing good as well. We were able to participate in a few events pre-Juneteenth, right? Juneteenth is tomorrow, so we're looking forward to being out in the park in Newark at the Juneteenth in the park. We were asked to also do a brief presentation about fatherhood and Juneteenth, so we're looking forward to that. I'm also rocking, brother gave me this shirt after Jummah yesterday called Prayers, Hustle, and Discipline.
Okay.
So check him out. Brother Mujahid, my namesake, out in Newark, and shared the love. So pretty good.
Yeah, we also had, I forgot to mention today, the Unified E-Committee of New Jersey had the Applebee's fundraiser. This time we did it at the Applebee's in Elizabeth, New Jersey, which is connected to Jersey Gardens Mall. And so that was our first time doing it there, because usually we do it at the Applebee's in Newark. But it was a really nice event. Everything went pretty smoothly. We sold all the tickets, so that's always a good thing. But it went well, so alhamdulillah for that. How about you, Bilal?
Allahu Akbar, alhamdulillah. So that's great. Happy birthday to Aliyah. Hope she enjoyed her birthday. So just wanted to say that. Second of all, everything's been going pretty smooth. Other than having car issues, currently need to replace my alternator, and the battery needs to be replaced. So that's being worked upon. So hopefully we'll be back on the road very soon. And also, it is my sister's getting married tomorrow. Khadija's getting married tomorrow, alhamdulillah. And we will be having the walima in Brooklyn, and we looking forward to it. Looking forward to being with the families tomorrow, uniting the families in celebration and commemoration of their union, inshallah.
I'm trying to step in the name of love, cha-cha slide, electric slide. Just make sure y'all have one of them there for me.
We'll make sure it happens, sister. Make sure it happens. But yeah, alhamdulillah, we're grateful for that, and we look forward to what the future holds. And may Allah bless the union and keep it nice and tight, and just bless it with much love and much steadfastness in the journey. Um, with that being said, we are 7:07. We do want to acknowledge our first lineup of guests. We have with us this evening a double header. First up, we have the organizers, founders. I don't know if they wanted us to be called them founders, so we'll just say organizers. Let them fill in that. Organizers of the Muslim CultureCon conference, which is coming up next year. But we want to bring on Sister Jada and Brother Zaid, Sister Jada Akman, Brother Zaid Hamid, and welcome them to the space. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
How y'all doing today?
Look, like you said, Ty. This heat is really like doing me in, like, oh my goodness. But alhamdulillah. Yeah, I'm good though. I'm good.
So I'm excited to hear about this CultureCon. I don't know anything about it, so it's always good. Like when it's fresh on my ears because I'm like, tell me all the juice, girl.
Yes. Okay. Well, let me just get like the back history in regards to how it started. So, Brother Rahman Khan, a previous community member and the community, had reached out to me and was just talking about how him and his wife used to do the young adult conferences when Imam Worthy Muhammad was alive. And so he had reached out to me and he was just saying that people were reaching out to me saying that you are already involved with the young adults. And so he was saying that I think you would be a good individual to open up this planning committee for bringing back the young adult conferences. And so when he mentioned it to me, I'm like, wow, like it was already on my mind, but it was just like I just didn't have anybody that was previously doing it, or I just didn't reach out to anybody. So when he brought it to my attention, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is the perfect time, like to gather, the other young adults that I associate with, like my peer group, and, get this thing running. So he had reached out to me. And then my brother, Marcus Lambert, he was also part of him reaching out to me. So we got on a call and Brother Rahman was like, well, do you know, any young adults? And I was like, yeah, like I got a couple people in mind. And so, yes, he's one of them. He was one of them. But the other young adults is, and y'all may be familiar with them. You have Bilal, Sabri. Bilal Ahmed. I think that's his last name. I forgot. And then Fatima Ali, which is Wazir Ali's daughter. And then Khadija from Texas as well. And then you have and Shara, she's here in the ATO with me, and Aisha from Texas, and then Uswa and Hasana, they're located in New York. So it started off with all of us, and literally when we got on the first call, we all recognized that we have the same vision, same drive, same passion in regards to our responsibility for the community. And from there, we just, was consistent with the meeting up, and planning for this conference, inshallah. So yeah, that's how it started.
Okay, so it's a conference because that's what I was like. Is it a concert? Is it a conference? Is it?
Yeah, I know, right?
You think about is it gonna be like SantaCon where people be walking around in costume? Somebody was telling me about SantaCon. I was like, what is that? That is crazy. But anyway, that was me adding a little flavor to it. But so CultureCon is a conference, right?
Yeah. So
go ahead.
So it's a conference. It's Muslim CultureCon. Con is short for conference. Yeah. So, and we started off saying, well, really, the plan was to have the conference this summer, But then as we were planning and, you know, coming together, we were like, okay, look, this is new to all of us. So let's kind of like slow it down. We don't want to, you know, we want to strive towards excellence and we want to, you know, bring out something that's really good. So we was like, let's, you know, back it up, you know, let's think about, you know, the structuring of our organization and where we want to go. And so that's when we changed the date to next summer of 2023, inshallah. Mm-hmm. And so we was like, okay, well, that's a long time from now. Like, we need to let people know who we are, you know, what we're doing, the work that we're doing. And so we decided to put together a cookout, something, you know, something small, but nothing too big. And so, inshallah, this summer, August 6th in Texas, Houston, Texas, at Masjid, Worthing Masjid, we're going to be putting together a Muslim CultureCon cookout. Yes. And so
that sounds cool. Okay, we're gonna be kicking back with the young Muslims. I love it.
Yes.
So in terms of the conference, what are there going to be workshops? Do you guys have an idea of like the type of topics that you are interested in discussing? What do you think? I'm adding layers to this, so pick whichever one you want, right? And what do you think? What do you think are some important conference topics that need to be discussed amongst our young people? So, and I don't even know what age is young anymore, right? Because sometimes we be saying youth and young adult, and sometimes we'll be saying 40, and I'm like, I'm 42, and I ain't feeling. I mean, I know I'm youthful in comparison to some people, but I was tired.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Jada, when looking for young adults out of like her immediate peer group or those that, you know, she was in some form of association with, she kept a pretty decent range as far as age representation, because we wanted to definitely highlight that it is a conference that is focusing toward the younger demographics of our community, but it is still open to everyone. But of course, the workshops and, you know, what's going to be presented is appealing more toward that. You know, sometimes as a youth, as a young adult, you know, you could be talking about a 10 or 15 year age difference between the two. But I don't have it immediately on my mind, but what was it, like 35, 18, 35, something? I'm just throwing numbers out there, right? Okay. Because we're looking at that specifically because those are the demographics that are being targeted to most in society that we're functioning with today. And because we recognize those being demographics when it comes to our communities that we may be lacking representation in. So trying to have a conference that is able to focus toward and cater toward their immediate needs is something that led as a priority that the whole group for the planning committee kind of came up with. So with that, we came up with topics that outside of even just the marriage focused topics, because that is something that's usually always spoken on. But being a modern Muslim or Muslim in this society, what does that look like? Maintaining your sense of self or identity with respect to social media and navigating social media, family life, etc. Jada will be able to fill in some more things too.
Islamic culture, definitely, you know, highlighting that. And our theme, actually, inshallah, is going to be strengthening our legacy through Islamic culture and identity. Yes. And so, you know, we chose those 2 points of culture and identity because, you know, that's what we're dealing with, you know, in this society amongst our peer group is, you know, searching for, you know, self of identity of who we are, you know, what our purpose is. And then you have, you know, the Western culture kind of pulling on us. And so, you know, exemplifying, we have our own culture, our own Islamic culture, and we want to preserve that. And so, you know, that's a part of our theme, inshallah, for the conference.
Okay.
Now, can one of you elaborate, or both of you elaborate on the importance of why this conference and why is it important?
Sure. So, if we just going to be candid and transparent about it, the freedoms that the United States has allowed us as Muslims and individuals, it's a blessing, but it's also a type of double-edged sword. And we have to know that our next generation of Muslims are being raised in environments that aren't direct. Like, images of what our parents or the first, second generation members of our community were raised in. It's another different scheme following the same pattern. And we have to recognize that the pattern that Allah blessed us with is the dominant pattern, and we have to make that a higher influence in the environment. So the type of focus that we're trying to have in this is allowing younger Muslims to recognize their role, responsibility, and their rights that are allowed to them, that Allah has blessed us to have, coming up into the leadership that we've had with Islam in this country, and being able to lead with that and stop playing second fiddle or being more in a following role toward, like what Jada was saying, Western identity and culture, and recognizing that we can maintain our sense as individuals within the broad scope, which is al-Islam, and the culture which our religion founds upon, that we build our lives based upon, and recognize that it is completely doable to live a lifestyle in the United States, in the Western Hemisphere, despite everything around, and maintain your Muslim identity first and at the forefront. It's completely possible. And that's why, like she was saying, the emphasis on culture and recognizing our culture and the benefit and the strengths of our culture with respect to every other that is based upon something that is subject to fail. Allah's given us the keys to success.
Got the blueprint.
Absolutely.
I love that. Oh, go ahead, Mujahideen. I'm sorry.
No, you got it. I was just going to say, I appreciate the language that you use, brother, and being very direct and specific in relation to this mission. I just want to know, can we share you all's logo? We did get that in our queue. Can we give them a little taste?
Yeah,
a little taste. We'll talk about it a little bit.
It may change or something, but alhamdulillah, that's what we start.
Okay.
So that's definitely preserving the flag and everything like that. That's what's up.
Yes. Yeah.
So so I love this concept, and there was something that Brother Zay said earlier that stuck in my mind, and he mentioned that when we were sort of talking about what age range is this whole initiative geared towards, and he said something that we've kind of been seeing in the community, and I'm glad that you all are doing this for this specific purpose, and that age range that you mentioned. I know you said kind of play around with it, right? 18 to 35, like what is it really? But that's where we see the underrepresentation, right? That's where we see the gap. And as he was just describing that when he was saying, it's absolutely doable to live an Islamic life as a young person in this country. And, I feel like, as he said, right? So that's the group that we're kind of missing in our masjids, right? When we walk in the masjid, that it sort of dwindles off, right? So I love the fact that you all are doing this, right? And that there is this focus and this initiative to hold on to our young people in the community. And it sounds like, give them tools and give them motivation for sticking to the faith at that time in their lives where it's like, I don't know. I mean, I know I was raised in this, but, I don't know if I really want to stick to this. I don't know if I could really maintain my Islam and still have and do the things that I want to do as an individual.
And I was about to just elaborate on what you were saying.
Absolutely.
Also, and I can attest to this, here in Atlanta. And when I'm the program director for an organization called the Muslim Mix. And so what we do is we create spaces for, young adult Muslims in the community to come out and just connect, be around one another. And something that I realize is that it's so important, just doing things together, either it's, outside of the masjid or, doing different programs or going somewhere, just being around each other and being connected. It does a lot for the soul and the mind. And so even with this, inshallah, the conference, we're trying to create a social institution so that, like you said, we can help each other, be reminders to each other, give us tools, guidance in regards to, the challenges that we deal with outside. in the society. And I think it's so important because, you know, the environment, it plays on our makeup and our, you know, who we are and where we're going. And so it's important that we create our own spaces and our own environments so that, you know, we can cultivate each other and, you know, be able to support one another. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited. My baby just turned 18. I mean, she ain't a baby, but she my baby. She just turned 18 last month. So I'm just like, oh, this is great. Like, I want to get her to CultureCon because I mean, that's part of it too. When you're a young person, you that being around other Muslims helps you to maintain your Islam at that age, right? So I mean, obviously there's some internal willpower and commitment and all of those things that come with it, but it just helps to have a network, as you was just saying. So
absolutely. And it helps, you know, mold your identity of you know who we are as Muslims.
Right.
You know, and our responsibility, you know, that's really, you know, the biggest thing too. And once you know who you are, you come into knowing, you know, your responsibility as Muslims. And so, you know, that's one thing that we, you know, really, really want to highlight.
So now I have a question about how the community could help. Like, is there like as you plan and as you figure this all out and, put it all together, is there something that you're looking for from the community? And if so, what is that?
So,
like anything
outside of the obvious, which is support,
right?
Allah has blessed us to have a lot of advice from people who have experience. And then we have others in our ear that have experience and are giving us their blessing to continue forward with what we have. And that's an assurance for us to know that we were chosen by our community or representatives in our community to take on this responsibility. Our community, our responsibility. Now, the next step is saying things cost, things take time, things take effort. It's not always going to be peaches and cream throughout the entire process, but Allah's blessed us to see, even in the 6 months that we've been developing the program, and the official conference, inshallah, is still a year out. The amount of progress that we've been able to make is significant because this is all of our first time working together. From what I know, this is my first time working with them. I know for a fact coming into this position, I learned about Jada from her article in the Muslim Journal, and it was about the Muslim Mix program that she was helping put together last fall. And it was something where I was saying, that's something I want where I am. When I was previously located in St. Louis, Missouri, I was saying that's something I want where I am. Young Muslims coming together, being Muslim, and then everything else comes after that, but Muslim at the forefront. And seeing that was going on, it was more of a drive for myself to do what I could where I am. Seeing a conference like this as an opportunity for younger Muslims, whether they are more active or less active, to be able to come together and at least have the opportunity to spark the inspiration. So when they return home to their communities, they can now replicate that effect in their own communities. Whether it takes them a couple of times to really get the engine going, it doesn't matter, but it's the idea that we're all supporting each other. So it's the idea, that's why I go back to starting with support. And what does support look like? Right?
Yeah, the nah, but alhamdulillah, I can put in the chat. We actually have a cash app if anybody wanted to, you know, donate to this organization that we're forming. I gotta pull it up. I'm sorry.
Right. So and that's a part of us even doing, while you pull it up, while we're organizing the cookout in Houston as a fundraiser, because we understand for the sake of raising funds, it isn't just having your hand out, it is actually putting work in even in those times. And right now, the cookout is going to be a really decent, it's a really nice fundraiser. Now we see how the summer is going, but it's going to be kind of hot. But
y'all going to Texas, y'all going to be hot.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna drop it. I got it right here. Let me
okay.
And I don't know.
We'll grab that. Yeah. So I'm also wondering. So you all are on the show today, right? So this is a part of promoting the CultureCon. But are there like, I guess is the expectation like from the masjids and the institutions to like tell your young people, dig them out the streets. So, like go find them and let them know that this is happening. Like, is there sort of that call out as well? Because I mean, we all know that in our various communities, even though we don't see a large amount of young Muslims in the masjid, we see them on the street, we see them in the store, we see them, at the workplace or what have you. And so I'm just wondering, like, I guess I'm doing the call out for y'all at this moment. I'm just like, okay, all everybody in your masjid, like go dig them out, because we're trying to re-engage some people that have been disengaged, and this is an initiative that is promising, and I'm excited about it. I mean, I'm past 35, but I'm still excited.
See, that's why I didn't want to say the age range. This is why we worked hard on the name. But something that pops in my mind really fast is as you mature in your practice of Al-Islam, you recognize how pivotal it is in leading your life. And you by recognizing that, you want that for your children, you want that for your grandchildren. Our pioneers, whether they were in the first or beyond the first, they recognize how serious things like this are for the development of the next generation. That generation we're speaking about targeting, they're going to be directly responsible for every generation coming after them. Mm-hmm. That's our legacy as an entire community. When you recognize that significant role that we're playing or able to play, I don't want to put us at the forefront of it, but that we're able to play, or you yourself and your respective community is able to play with shaping that next generation, you would say that anything that is along these efforts that is for the betterment of our community, whether it is like a Camp Khalil, whether it is like another conference, et cetera, that are targeting our next generations and making sure that we're trying our best to do our part in molding them to take on the reins that our entire history is and Allah's enable for us to have right now. You would say, outside of this portion of the conference, whatever your reservations are, this is something that needs to happen, and this doesn't need to be the only thing. If there's something that you may not recognize or see in what we're doing, then it's your responsibility to reach out to us, help us in what we're doing, and be able to aid us. That's the other forms of support. Anything that's outside of just finances, experience, and anything you can teach us to help us fulfill this mission that Allah is guiding us to take a part of the responsibility for. We have to see our entire community as a part of that responsibility and to play our part with it. So
we all have roles.
Gotta work. As you were talking too, what I was seeing, because sometimes it happens like that for me. So what I was seeing in my mind's eye is like when we have young children in whether it's in our schools, you mentioned a Camp Khalil, or if it's a weekend school, like as the children sort of age out of those programs, we should also be establishing a link to what's next, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe the young person is now aging out of what our Islamic studies program that may only go to like 8th grade, right? And so now there is this program for teens, and we have to connect to that, right? We have to say, instead of just sort of letting the child age out and not referring them somewhere, we got to say, okay, this is next, and we're going to make the connection. We're going to connect you to this next step, and then whatever that program is, when the young person ages out of that, it's like, okay, let's connect you to this. So I think that's part of it too, right? To see how all of our initiatives, especially those that are designed as such to where there's sort of a age range to it, you know what I mean? That we establish this bridge from one to the other to the other, instead of just sort of letting the young person sort of just go off, because then that's part of it. And then we have our young people who go off to college, and so we've got to establish some links there, because then you'll be doing that whole thing by yourself, and surviving or struggling or whatever have you. But I think it's important for us to establish the blueprint I think that's where I'm going with it. Establish the blueprint of this, then this, then this, then this type of thing.
Absolutely.
Alhamdulillah. I mean, well said. I think this was a beautiful conversation, and we thank you, Sister Jada, Brother Zaid, for stopping by and giving us a little appetizer and giving the people a little appetizer of what to expect with Muslim Culture Con. Again, if you want to donate to / sponsor the Muslim Culture Con, the Cash App is there on the screen below, and is also in the comments as well. Please find a way to support, or reach out to Sister Jada and Brother Zaid and ask how can you all support this initiative as it is being planned out next year. We still have a ways to go, but we know time is of the essence, and time does creep up on us real fast. So the sooner that we can get things rolling and get some save the dates out there, we will do our best here on the Freedom Exchange and the network to continue to share the information in regards to Muslim Culture Con as it becomes readily available for us to share. So we would like to thank Sister Jada again, Brother Zaid, for stopping by. We appreciate it, and this platform is yours. So feel free to let us know how we can help you all with this endeavor, inshallah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you all. Thank you all. See you all soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Right. Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Legacy, legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, legacy, visit muslimjournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, legacy, 999. Legacy, legacy, muslimjournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, legacy, visit muslimjournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, legacy, 999. Legacy, legacy, muslimjournal.net online.
All right, welcome back.
Oh,
Welcome
I like
back.
that. Love it. Okay. New Freedom Network with commercials. I love y'all.
Yeah, let's keep the commercials going. So yes, we had honor to play that from the Muslim Journal event that just took place in Newark, New Jersey. Alhamdulillah, was a success, and we encourage the believers, those who are watching, to take out the subscription and find ways to support the Muslim Journal the best way that we can. So we will continue to play the Muslim Journal as part of one of our first commercials to be played on the platform, and we do like it. So shout out to, who was the brother that made it? The brother that was
P. Jens.
Shout out to P. Jens for that, for the commercial.
Soon as well.
We have so much talent. We have so much talent in this community. Every time something pops up, I'm just like, we have it. Like, we have it. For anybody who thinks that we don't have it, or you just doubt it, or you're just not sure, we have it. All we got to do is just put it back together for the pieces that fell apart. But we got it, y'all, and I see it coming into fruition, and it's awesome to watch.
Alhamdulillah. And with that being said, we do have our next guest, which is very, also very important initiative that's been started, called the Clara Muhammad School Network. So without no further ado, we want to bring on Dr. Khan to the platform.
Assalamu
alaikum.
It is a peach kind of day. I love it. I am here for the peach.
Right. The Georgia peaches.
Yes, okay. The Georgia ladies and their peach. I'm so glad to see you today. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good. So we are going to discuss the Clara Muhammad School Network's initiative. There's a conference coming up, and we want to hear about it. So I'm going to give you the floor to tell us a little bit about this conference and get us all excited for the good things that are coming for the Clara Muhammad schools.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. First of all, I'd like to compliment Sister Jada and Brother Zaid for their excellent presentation. And I was really excited about that for the young people in our community. And I think that their passion about wanting to continue the legacy of the community to support our young people in taking on their responsibility, I think that that is just absolutely wonderful. And I would encourage all of the listeners and viewers to support them in those efforts. When she mentioned Rahman Khan is one of the persons that gave her the idea for this conference, I remember Rahman from Florida A&M University, where he was a president of the local Student Government Association, and also his leadership and his role in the Coalition for Good Government as well, that was started by Imam Muhammad. So he brings a lot of energy and a lot of passion to the situation. And the other persons that she mentioned are also very, very passionate about continuing the work of the community and offering their services. And then the second reflection, and it's always good because we build on each other's shoulders, is I was very excited to hear and see the ad about the Muslim Journal. And being one of the older African American news papers, and the need for that in today's world. Also, the members of the network, the Clara Muhammad Schools Network, are mentioned weekly in the paper. And then there are also ways that you can support schools within the network that are mentioned through the 100 at 50 program that Imam Adam Bayah started as well. So that's a good reason to buy the Muslim Journal and to subscribe for it, so you can see the schools that are in the network. I want to start out by telling you just a little bit about the mission of the Clara Muhammad Network. The mission of the Clara Muhammad Schools Network is to facilitate collaboration and best practices for the growth and development of the Sister Clara Muhammad school system in alignment with the Quran, the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, and the insights of Imam Deen Muhammad. We have several goals. One is to establish a professional development program for teachers and school leaders, to design methods to raise funds for Clara Muhammad schools, to facilitate and support the opening of new Clara Muhammad schools, and to establish an accreditation process for the Clara Muhammad schools, and to develop a teacher certification program, and also to develop a unified curriculum framework for Clara Muhammad schools. And as a network, even though there are only about 12 schools listed in the Muslim Journal, the network also supports weekend school programs. And I understand that I'm supposed to use the term strong end school programs instead of weekend school programs, also online programs and homeschool programs as well. So you don't have to be a full-time, daytime program offering Islamic education to our children, but you can also join the network to benefit from some of the other things. And one of the things that we're hoping to do, which goes in line with our first goal to provide professional development, is that the weekend of June the 23rd through the 26th, which is this coming next weekend in Atlanta, Georgia, we are hosting a program for schools. And the title of this conference is called Developing the Role of the Khalifa, Exploring STEM and STEAM Initiatives with an Islamic Perspective. STEM is an acronym for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And STEAM it just simply adds the A, which is the arts. And we're trying to take a look at bringing together professionals and other teachers and students as well to talk with our school leaders from the network, and it's open to other schools as well. But we're trying to talk about science programs from an initiative of understanding that we have the role in society of being caliphs for Allah's creation. Allah has mercifully granted us this beautiful creation. And while Allah creates, man has to discover how to use that creation for the benefit of human society. And so, what we want to do is to share techniques that we have used at the Muhammad Schools of Atlanta, and we have found in the general community, that are effective ways to teach the sciences, the area of math, as well as the arts to students, so that they first of all recognize and see the beauty in Allah's creation and all that He has given us, and then also to be motivated to come up with ways that we can discover more uses of Allah's creation, as well as things that we need to do ethically and morally to bring about change in society, and to make the best use of it. Allah gives us everything, but we have the choice to make in terms of how we use it and how it benefits mankind and women as well. And then also we also have a choice too to use it in a destructive, for profit way as well. And we want to help our students and our schools understand the significant role that we play as educators in really developing students to be caliphs, not just students that get a degree and go off and try and profit themselves, but what we should do really to profit the entire civilization.
So I'm excited. And I'm excited because the whole Clara Muhammad School initiative. I mean, that's my love, and anybody who knows me knows that, like, that education piece for me is it's just everything, right? And so I'm always excited when there's an opportunity for us to strengthen um, what we have, and to revive what we lost, and to do it right. So as you were laying that out, I kept thinking about that do it right piece, right? To really not just educate our children, right? Like, we can send our child to any school and get that, right? But you
Right.
can't send your child to any school and have them teach your children from the perspective of being prepared to be Khalifa in the earth, to approach the learning from um, Allah being the creator, and finding the function and discovering the functionality of the various things that Allah gave to us, and then utilizing that in the best way. You don't get that everywhere.
Right.
You just don't.
Mhm.
And that's the thing that I love about the Clara Muhammad School model, right? And I know that, people, in various locales, depending on the circumstance in their location, maybe their school is no longer, maybe their school is being revived. Maybe, it was thriving at one point and now it is not, and the children now go to a local school. But if you just hold on to the concept of a Clara Muhammad School, and the purpose of and the intention behind the education, and focus on doing it right, because I know a lot of people want to reopen their schools, and they want to get it done now, and I'm just like, I'm all for that too, but let's do it in this way. So the way you just laid that out, and what this conference is going to focus on, it just excites me, because we're coming together to learn how to do it right from that STEM perspective, and I know that we'll do it for other subject matter, but this is what we're focusing on at this particular moment. But it's just so exciting to know that, like, we getting it together.
Yes, it is. It is very exciting. It is.
I'm also very excited, but for a different reason, as I'm a product of the Clara Muhammad school system from here in Corona, Queens, at the Principal Sharif Adai, here in Mashanuruddin. And before that, homeschooled by my mother and my father from K to 6. So I'm excited for a little bit different because I've been through the system. I've seen what it has done for me, and enabling me to continue what my parents was fostering in me at the home. And I think that's such a crucial element, that Islamic education, that education piece, begins at home, and then by having our own school system, that's even better, because once they leave from home, they're going right to another. They're going to a womb, so I'm
Right.
saying a protective space where they can freely express themselves as Muslims and grow and start the cultivation and growth period for when they leave from a Clara Muhammad school system and perhaps go to grad school, undergrad and grad, or trade school, vocational, military, whatever they choose to do. You know what I'm saying? They have a strong foundation of Al Islam, and has been given to us through the Prophet's example and the tafsir of Imam Muhammad. My question is in reference to this initiative, and I think it's a wonderful initiative. Is some of the short-term and long-term goals of the network, Dr. Khan? Could you give us a little bit of that too, as it connects to this conference, and then what should people in the community look out for in coming after that?
I see. Okay. Well, the first goal that I mentioned was that we hope to provide professional development for the schools. In a survey, we found that was our number one goal. And well, actually, it's a twofold goal. One is professional development in terms of teaching about Islam, and also the Arabic language as well, so that students can ultimately read the Quran and understand it in the Arabic language. But also, we felt that we needed an update on professional development in the academic areas, because most of our students will leave our schools, whether or not they're K-8 schools or either K-12 schools. Most of them will leave our schools going into colleges where they will be asked to perform academically. And be successful with that. So we wanted to strengthen our academic programs within our schools. And since more than 70% of the careers in the 21st century are going to be STEM or STEAM related careers, we chose that as an area. This is also an outgrowth of my desire to see how we can fund some of the initiatives that we want to have for our students, our schools, so that they can reach out for grant funding and for other financial resources to support some of the things that they are doing locally. So we wanted to show them how to do that. So on Thursday evening, the conference is kicked off with discovering what is the role of the Khalifa. And the Quran asks us, does man think that he will be left alone without purpose? So we're going to start with that idea. What are we supposed to be doing as human beings and as schools to help further our students along? And then on Friday morning, we'll be at the Muhammad Schools of Atlanta, where we will show examples of our students' work, and also how they have been introduced to the sciences and the activities and things that we do. We're very fortunate at the Atlanta school to have a garden, and so we're going to spend some time in the garden and talk about the whole issue of farming and raising your own food, and then how you can have a school garden. So it's going to be somewhat of a classroom lab type service. We're also having a presentation from our robotics teacher, who will be talking about creating career pathways for students in terms of some of the engineering concepts and other things as well. And then we'll have our student presentations as well from some of their science projects and the various sciences and things. And then on Friday evening, we're having a book discussion by Sister. It's a book, Education as Creation. And then we're having that book discussion on Friday evening. And then on Saturday, we're hearing from a lot of our graduates from the Muhammad schools, Dr. Latifa Dean, Dr. Marcus Lambert, Akila Johnson, and Dr. Ajib Sabri, who will be talking about how you practice, into practice some of these things. And we're also very delighted that we have a Muslim sister from the National Science Foundation that will be talking about grant opportunities for schools to take a part in, either as an entire network or either as individual schools, and teaching schools how to take advantage of your local resources and grant opportunities so that you can fund significant programs for academics at your school sites.
Excellent, excellent. I'm blown away myself as well. I'm also a product of the Clara Muhammad School. The short time that I was in that system in Newark, New Jersey, but my mother and grandmother also are former teachers of the Clara
Hmm.
Muhammad School in Philadelphia as well. So my question is, I see you have your contact information for people. Is registration still open? Are people still able to register?
Yes, you can even register at the door as well on Friday. I'm sorry, on Thursday evening from 4 to 5, right before our opening session, which includes a dinner, and that's being held at the Atlanta Masjid of El Islam. And you can register on site. Also, if you cannot make all 3 days of the conference, you can, participate on a daily basis for just a small fee, and the fee basically pays for your lunch or for your meal during that particular day. So the all 3 days is only $50, and we also are accepting sponsorships and donations towards the conference as well to help us defray the cost. On Saturday we will be at the Drury Airport Hotel, which is right next door to the Atlanta airport. So if you wanted to just fly in Saturday and hear all the sessions from the practitioners and professionals, as well as the National Science Foundation presentation, you can just fly in and then go to the conference, and then just go 5 minutes away from the hotel and get back on a plane and head back out. So we tried to make everything convenient, and we tried to also center it around the Atlanta Masjid and a Clara Muhammad School, which we also include the W.D. Muhammad High School as well as a part of our local school system here in Atlanta. And that's why we're called the Muhammad Schools of Atlanta. Clara Muhammad School, the Clara Muhammad School goes from pre-K to 8th grade, and then the W.D. Muhammad High School picks up and goes from 9th to 12th grade. So we wanted to center that around that so people could actually see a living model of what we're trying to do. And then of course the Atlanta Masjid as well as a backdrop, because educating an African saying is that it takes a village to raise a child. There is also a curriculum too when you have children attending Juma, when you have them attending activities at the local masajids that you have involved. So really, it's a community effort to educate our children. And we feel very, very blessed in Atlanta, and I'm sure many of your cities do too. Feel very blessed that there's a close connection between Clara Muhammad schools and their local masajids.
Excellent, excellent. And one of our interests, also just as another caveat to that, is to connect them to media as well and information.
Yes, exactly.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm gonna keep saying that. I do. I wish that I could be with you all this coming weekend. I will be out of town with my daughter, who is going into college, and she's going to be doing her orientation for her freshman year. But I'm just looking forward for other
At Howard.
at Howard University.
Yes.
But I know I'm looking forward to what this becomes and other opportunities to get together as a network. I am a part of the network, and so I know some of the background of this, and so it's just exciting to see it unfold. As you were talking, one of the things that I was thinking about is that for the schools that are either attempting to strengthen their situation or reestablish their schools, um, the thing that came to me was just to not be satisfied with just establishing, right, just opening a school, but really be intentional about um, putting highly qualified professionals in those classrooms with the children, connecting them to initiatives such as this, where we're coming together to provide professional development in the area of science, technology, engineering, and math. And so that we give our children the best, right? That's really what this is about. To when I say things like do it right, it's not for the sake of saying we got a school and it's great. It's for the sake of really giving to our children what we're responsible for giving them, so that when they are in position to have make an impact and create a change in the environment, that they're doing it from a place that honors Allah,
Yes.
right? And also, as you were talking, and I think it was Imam Bilal who had said something, and he mentioned Muslim, and while I know that our school system primarily educates our Muslim children, this is a benefit to children in general.
Yes.
It's because the approach that the Clara Muhammad schools takes in order to educate children connects them back to creation, and that's not a Muslim, Christian, Jewish thing, but it is. But it, not in that how we see it and how we label it. It brings you back to the foundation, what we would say your fitra, right? So you teach the children from what's natural, and I think that's missing in education. So I'm just, and as a whole, right? So I don't know, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is like wonderful, and I can't wait for it to just duplicate and grow and multiply and be what it's intended to be. And I know we have model institutions like Atlanta and like Milwaukee and like Bermuda and Michigan as well. But I'm excited to see it pop up all over the country. Even when I hear people tell stories of what our school system once was, I'm just like, how do we do that again? And so the Clara Muhammad Schools networks, we get together monthly, right? And we share resources, and we plan together, and we really have a vision for establishing ourselves in the land, and having that go into perpetuity through our children and continuing to grow. So
And
I'm
one
I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Wonderful, wonderful. And one of the things that I just learned this week, as a matter of fact, that I found to be very exciting is that I thought that the National Science Foundation was just about science grants and things with the life, earth, and physical sciences, but they also take a strong look as well at the human sciences too. And one of the questions, one of the possible research questions too, that we could ask is, how did the Clara Muhammad school system develop? How did it sustain itself? And how do we sustain it for the future? And then also another possible question might be as well, how do we develop our students in such a way that they give back in terms of the school, and taking a look at not only developing their own private personal careers for self-enhancement, but how could they use those careers and that training that they've received to maybe teach a class on the weekend or at the school, or to institute a program at the school that benefits us, other students. So it really kind of piqued my interest, and I felt really so blessed to be a part of the Sister Clara Muhammad School network and system, because we really could write a model story, for education that really is in line with the best of models. So
Excellent. We have Sister Patricia Salahuddin on the line. She says, Alhamdulillah, Allah is blessing us with great school leaders. I echo that sentiment as well. Alhamdulillah. Dr. Khan, we thank you for your time this evening and sharing with us the special initiative, the Clara Muhammad School Network. We here at New Freedom Exchange will continue to share whatever information that's readily available in regards to the conference, and also in regards to any other special projects and initiatives that you all share with us. We'll be more willing to share on this platform, more than willing to bring you all back to go more in depth and just to give more spotlight to what's going on with the Clara Muhammad School system, because it is a integral part of this community, along with other precious institutions that has gotten us this far in our history as a community, which is over almost 100 years old. So
yes.
This is a system that's produced numerous leaders, as has been mentioned, across the academic fields, and continue to produce young leaders, caliphas in various academic fields who are doing exemplary work. And we want to continue to sustain our school system so we can continue to build a community, and it goes back to, the sayings of Malcolm and others, about, you can't send your children to other people and expect them to do you any good, especially if you're sending to their oppressor, in this case. I couldn't help but see, I said this to Mujahideen, a bus in New York City, and it was advertising the local school system here, and it had a sister on, a young girl with her kikimar on. I said, wow, would it be so nice to see Clara Muhammad School billboards and banners in our city, man. We need that. We need that, like Sister Marsha said, it's not just for the Muslims, but we need to advertise and we need to promote and package this thing right, as much to do it right, so we can reach a wider audience, because it's a benefit. I went to school, when I was going to Clara, I went to school, there were several members of who were Christian or non-Muslim who were in the school, and some actually took Shahada.
Right.
These are young kids, some young men, young women. So it's like, we don't know what impressions that we make when we make that, make it known of what we're doing. And this platform here, we hope to continue to make it known what the Clara Muhammad Schools system and the network is doing, inshallah.
Right.
Can we throw the flyer back up on the screen just one more time?
Yes, we can do that. We can do that. The flyer is coming up in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Developing the role of the Khalifa, exploring STEM and STEAM activities with an Islamic perspective, which is happening next week, Thursday, June 23rd to Sunday, June 26th. Again, like Sister Dr. Khan said, it will be happening in Atlanta, Georgia. Registration is $50 for the weekend. This will cover pre-K to 12th grade educators and administrators, STEM and STEAM professionals, parents are invited, high school students are invited, and college, university students are also invited. For more information, you can contact Sister Dr. Khan herself, Zahira.Shakir/Khan@muhammadschools.org. And that email is also in the comment section below as well, for those who may have missed it, inshallah. Excellent.
That's a wrap. That was beautiful. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you and the hard work that you all sisters are doing. I was blessed to take a sneak peek in one of y'all meetings, and I had to bow out gracefully. There's a lot of doctors in the room, sisters holding it down. So it was good to see that you all are continuing the legacy of our honorable sister
Clara
Muhammad.
Absolutely.
And her son and the work of our community pushing forward, remaking the world for sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me this evening, and also Sister Patricia as well. And please be sure to join us in the future, and maybe we can come back after the conference and share highlights from the conference.
We would love it.
Some additional initiatives.
Definitely a debrief show. Definitely, let's do that, inshallah. Yes, sir. Yes,
Absolutely.
Dr. Khan. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for the opportunity.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Whoa. Can't stop now, Aki, huh? Become a Muslim general sponsor, man. Yes, we can't stop that, Aki. We have to become.
Shadia.
It's a gummy beat.
Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Hey. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Hey. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Hey. Miss Boss Lady can be nice. Hey. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady can be nice. Look through the balls, look at the flaws, dripping and salt. She making the prayers no matter the cost. No, she ain't putting it on. She repping the Deen, know what I mean, so she ain't never been false. She on the scene, getting that green, so she can never be false. She getting that chick and on to the next. She sit alive. She demand respect, gotta come correct. Sauced up, dripping like ragu. Why she walking down the avenue? If you really wanna bag you, gotta go talk to a Abu. Ain't talking to Aladdin, I'm talking to Dad, and no, he ain't having. No pants sagging, no career having. Bumps around playing Madden. She ain't playing no games, dealing with lames. Beautiful woman with brains. I call her Miss Boss Lady with the keyma, cause I don't know her name. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady can be nice. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady can be nice.
Been a boss, I don't gotta floss. Staying humble cause I was lost. Now I'm rocking my keyma. Getting all of them dinar. On my Deen and I go hard. Alhamdulillah, gotta thank God. Elevating and I can't stop. Don't waste my time and you getting blocked. Blast up, I put you on the spot. I be making moves and you talk a lot. Following procedure. Example for me, Khadija. I'm tryna own, not leasing. Stay on my grind, straight beastin'. Black excellence, stay queenin'. I gotta do it. Putting Zawa in albums, I thought you knew it. I'm about my business, I keep it fluent. I slay so effortless, ain't no congruent. Purifying my heart, cause I got affluence.
Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady can be nice. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady can be nice. Miss Boss Lady. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady. Miss Boss Lady with the keyma. Miss Boss Lady. Miss Boss Lady. Miss Boss Lady.